Hello, and welcome to Traditional Stitches FlossTube video number 34. I'm Janice Spencer, the owner of Traditional Stitches, and with me today is our Stitch Along leader, Rose Heck. Hi, Rose.
Hi, Janice. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
Good, good. Yeah. How's your month been?
Actually really good. Yeah. Lots happening, lots of camping, lots of stitching, knitting, sewing, cooking, and very minimal cleaning. Yeah.
Oh, well, that sounds
working. And working.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And you, how has things been?
Good. We went to the Jeanette Douglas workshop at Acorns and Threads a few weeks ago, and that was the best time ever. We really, the weekend was enjoyable. We went and did a 12K hike on the first day that we got there, and then we spent the rest of the weekend hanging out with Janine, the owner of Acorns and Threads, and Roz, the past owner of Acorns and Threads, and Jeanette, of course, and some great other stitchers. So yeah, it was the best time.
Good, good.
So that's kind of been the highlight, and then getting the yard started and stuff. So,
well, I did stop in yesterday at the shop to pick up some supplies, and as I drove out, I looked at your grass and I thought, wow, is it green? And then, oh, Janice is going to have to start cutting it pretty soon.
yeah. So I did that last night, actually. I was on the phone when you were in the shop, so I didn't get to come talk to you. But yes, I did finish the mowing. So. Yeah,
the gals said that you were very busy and on the phone and doing all those things.
Yeah. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the Hannah Campbell Sampler. We're going to talk about the Lucy Barber Sampler. We're going to talk about Queen of the May, some things that are going on in the shop. I do have a very special hand-dyed linen parade to share with you today. And just our plans for other things going forward. So,
nice.
Alrighty, so we'll start with talking about Hannah Campbell because that's the question that is currently on everybody's minds.
I hope I grabbed. I think it is. Yes, it is. I do have it.
Yeah.
And she is not. She's still in her plastic. So sorry for the glare. There she is.
So the Hannah Campbell Sampler is available from all shops, but we are very proud to be one of the 5 shops that's actually sponsoring this Facebook Stitch Along group. So as part of that, we were the ones of the shops that had the exclusive Minnie McBean frippery offer. And so we got the fripperies this week and they are just beautiful. And they feature that cartouche from the top of the sampler, which I think is the outstanding part. So yeah, those are in.
I haven't unpacked mine yet. It's still wrapped with my linen. So.
And you got the 46 count Lakeside, right?
Exactly. I love Lakeside. It's my happy place. And it's going to be interesting because there's so much over one. I had considered doing over 40 count over 2 and using soie d'Alger and then doing the over 1 with soie 103. But I thought, I'll just suck it up and do it 46 count.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
And it will be. Have you seen some of the works in progress that people have been posting?
Yes, they're driving me crazy. It's such a beautiful sampler.
It is.
I have been resisting starting it, but I can tell you my willpower is just going to go. And having that Lakeside linens in the color that the model was stitched on, I think is pretty special. And it just is outstanding. Like if you hold up your threads with that linen, just to show how beautiful they look on the Lakeside linens. And Pat at Lakeside Linens really hit it out of the park by getting us the fabric in time for the stitch along. So I'm pretty happy about that.
I'm not going to unpack that because you guys did the soie 103 so beautifully. But let me see if I can do this.
Oh yeah. Yum.
Sorry for the fingers. Yeah. it's, everything looks good on Lakeside.
Yeah. So so the frippery was a free gift from us for people who bought the chart and the linen and the threads, so the 3 components. So I'm going to share a FlossTube secret here. We still have some left.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I did take it off of the website because I didn't want to take a chance of overselling, and so
Okay.
we do have about 10 fripperies left. So if people have been hedging about ordering the kit, I suggest that this is the best opportunity to do it.
Good, good,
Yes,
good.
so it's linked below, and as we'll just automatically add them to orders for the full kits until they're gone.
Good. Good.
Yeah, you heard it on FlossTube and only on FlossTube.
Exactly. I have a friend that was, and I'm not sure where she is with her order or anything, but had considered, and she asked me, I'm wondering if there still is some, and I couldn't answer that because I didn't know. So
No.
once she sees this, she'll be thrilled.
Okay, good, excellent. So on the other supplies, we do have linen in stock, but we are waiting for more silk thread to come in, and that should be here in about 3 weeks. So then we'll ship them after that. So people who are newer orders that are for silk thread, they're just going to get started a little bit later than everybody else. But aren't we doing this stitch along over 18 months? So there's going to be tons of time to catch up.
I'm thinking it was 15.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Longer than our usual 12, I think.
Yeah.
The Cherry did the layout, the monthly layout in the Facebook group last week, I think. And so it's pinned to the top of the Facebook group for everybody to see, but it's longer than the usual 12, that's for sure. So plenty of time.
Yeah.
And if you've seen the people who have started, they're just motoring along anyways. So I think it's doable for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from a shipping point of view, when I go back to the shop this afternoon, I'm going to finish shipping almost all of them today, or getting them ready to ship. So everything will be in the mail kind of by tomorrow. There's a few that'll be in the mail by the end of next week, but everybody's going to get them in their hands in time for the June 1st stitch along start date. So good. And that's exactly how we planned it. Oh. And so are you planning to join and keep up with the stitch along?
I probably will put stitches in on June 1st. Will I keep up? It remains to be seen. I have so many things on the go. I feel like I'm juggling a lot. So 15 months might, be 30 months, might be, I don't know. I don't know yet. And then again, it could be where it captivates me and I just zoom through and ignore everything else. Yeah.
I'm afraid that this is the captivating type of a sampler, which is the only thing that's keeping me from getting started on it, is because I know nothing else will get done in the meantime. So,
okay.
Yeah. Alrighty. So now let's talk about Lucy Barber.
You bet.
So Lucy Barber is the Traditional Stitches Hands Across the Sea sampler exclusive for 2023. And this is what her cover looks like. And so we've just wrapping up month number 3 of the stitch along rows and going into month.
That's right. Yeah. So it was that border one. So month 4, and I've got another stitch along that I'm doing, and it's at month 5. So I always get confused. So I'm glad you mentioned it. So month 4 is that center huge basket.
Yeah.
And if you haven't done the crow, part of the crow, the 2 smaller baskets, and then just some little small flowers there. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That basket was a lot of fun to stitch.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so within, I think you mentioned it on the last FlossTube. So there is progress thus far. And I did the crow already, but there's those 2 baskets right there and there. Is it those? And you had put a post about how they were printed differently on the chart itself. So I think I pinned a post on the Facebook page
Okay.
on how to reverse them.
Perfect.
So I believe it was them.
Yeah,
I hope
and
it was.
yeah, it was definitely them. And I don't
Okay.
think that there was really anything else about this section that, other than that.
No, all cross stitch over 2.
Good.
Pretty easy peasy.
Excellent. The one thing about the Lucy Barber Sampler that has been going on is great discussion in the Facebook group about the padded satin stitch
Yes.
for the
yes.
roses that are near the bottom of the sampler. So if you are like me and you work top to bottom, just maybe put a post-it note in your chart for that section to refer back to Facebook posts from this current week.
Yeah.
So that you can review those when you're getting ready to do your padded satin on those roses.
Right.
Because there's some really great tips, and Nicola's posted a video, and you posted a link to Nicola's video.
Right.
Lots of great resources in that Facebook.
Right. Yeah. So you shouldn't have no excuse to be able to attempt to do those padded satin stitches. So, and I guess if you really struggle, for anybody that's struggling, just reach out, put a post in and say you're still having a struggle, and we can always walk you through it. So.
Yep. And if it just really is overwhelming, there's no reason why you couldn't fill those in with cross stitch.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So.
All right, so we do still have charts and fripperies and kits for the Lucy Barber Sampler available. She is just such a beautiful sampler that we have orders coming in for her every day, so we're keeping an eye on our levels. But for the current time, you're definitely welcome to order her and join us.
Right.
And the link is in the description box below.
Right. Yeah.
All right, and then the other thing that Nicola did in the last little week here was she released the Queen of the May sampler, Maria Ewan, do you think?
Yeah, it looks like Maria Ewan.
Okay. So every year Nicola chooses an outstanding example of a reproduction sampler from her collection and features it as the Queen of the May sampler. And I forgot to bring a chart home with me, but you have yours. You picked it up in the shop yesterday when you were in.
Yep. So this is her. Hold it back first so you can see the whole chart. And then I'll bring it in.
That's just beautiful.
It is. When I first saw it, chart format, I thought, oh, it's nice. I like it. And then when I saw Nicola's FlossTube, and one of my friends prompted me, she says it is so much nicer in person, virtual person. And she was so right. And so I thought, well, okay, I am going to add it to her. And I have to confess, I have all of the Queen of the Mays from 2018 in hard copy. That's the one that I wanted to have in hard copy. To me, they're quite special. And I've actually stitched one of them, and one is kitted up, ready to go in a year or 2, 3. We'll see. So she is pretty.
Yeah. Can you hold that chart up again, Rose?
I sure will.
Okay. So I find that those flower pots near the top kind of remind me of the Uffendale samplers a little bit.
Yes.
But the element in that chart that I really would love to stitch is that hill and that basket.
That is the one. And I love Nicola's suggestion that if you did not want to do the whole chart for small, you could do that hillock and the basket, or even just the basket, or even the tall vase here, and just make it as a small for yourself or for a gift. Make it, however you want. So lots of elements that you could pull out. I love the charming of these little corner flowers also.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing, I don't know if you noticed, they are carnations. Her carnations are all different colors, but they're not all bright colors. Some of them are quite muted. And now that I'm looking at it, it looks like almost blues and grays, but then you get pops of reds and
yeah, that would be a fun border stitch.
So yeah. It'll definitely keep you busy. So, and then of course, as always, she always puts in a bookmark with all of the colors and then the information you can put on the end. And then when you're done and framed, you can put it on the back of your framed piece. So, and I've done that before. Those are handy, handy little tools. So.
Absolutely. All right, well, we've got the charts in the shop. We got a little bit behind the ball on silk thread and the called for linen. So that's all on order, and it'll take a few weeks to trickle down. But we're happy to take orders for it, and hopefully everybody's got something to stitch on in the meantime.
Yeah, the model was stitched parchment from fiber on a whim.
Yeah.
If that is something that people don't want to stitch on or it's not available, basically reach out to you guys and ask you to pull something that is very color matching. That is a good, and I know you guys are really good at that.
Well, and when I get through to my pile of linen that I've got sitting here beside me, there might be some options that occur to
Oh
me.
yeah, oh yeah. There was a day where I would stick with what the designer called for. Like, I'd never change. You just don't change. And now in the last couple of years, it's kind of like, well, maybe, you know, I'd seen this would be kind of nice, and why not this? And so as you build a stash and you have more dyers putting things out there, there's a plethora of fabric. So
yeah, lots of choices.
You bet.
Yeah, cool. All right, so some things that have been happening in the shop. Yesterday afternoon, a great big box of charts came from our supplier, Hoffman Distributing, that includes all of the reprints of Blackbird that Alma just did. So all of those, I don't know if it ended up being like 12 or 14 charts that she had reprinted. So those are all now arrived in the shop, which is exciting because it's so worrisome when those things go out of print and if you didn't stash them when they were available. So anyways, so that's exciting news. We also got a great big case of the stitching tool organizer cases from Needlework Press. So she had released those at Nashville and they sold out like that. So we bought a whole case. So they look like this. So stitching tools. And then they just are a container like that.
And for those that are not sure about the size of it, I was watching Brenda and the Cereal Starter this last weekend, and they showed both theirs, and you can put the spools double stack, so one on top of the other, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 or 10 in the length of it and double stack. So I think 18 to 20 spools you could put in, and that's usually what a chart will call for in colors, more or less. So
yeah,
good investment.
Yeah, so we have quite a few of them right now. Keep in mind that they do have to be shipped in a box by parcel mail. So order 3 or 4, give them away as gifts. We've got quite a few. All right. So the other thing that we got this week was another shipment of Kohana scissors. So we now have the bright red, the burnt red, and the pink in stock in both the embroidery sizes and the shears sizes while they last.
Nice.
So, yeah, very special to have. And we are shortly going to be very busy getting ready for the retreat in Edmonton. That is near to the last weekend in June, and we're going to be the boutique shop there. There will be some other vendors there, but we'll have the shop that's there for 4 days. And so advance orders we're collecting and special requests for us to take with us and stuff. So if you're attending that retreat, just drop us an email and let us know what it is you're looking for. That's going to be the next big thing on our radar. Yeah. So do you want to see these linens?
I kind of do. I didn't realize you may have had them in yesterday, and I kind of popped in, picked up my items, bought a couple of extra items and popped out, and I didn't take the time.
Well, they were hidden in my office in my FlossTube pile. So you
no
wouldn't
wonder.
Anyways.
No wonder. Yeah, no, that's all good.
Okay, so let's do that. So the first linen that I have to show you is a new color from R&R Reproductions called Vanilla Bean. And this is what it looks like. So it is a nice light neutral. Yeah, a little bit yellow, but still kind of a coffee dye kind of a color. So it's been a while since we've seen some of the R&R colors like alabaster and the lighter ones. So this would be a good substitution if you're waiting for something like that. So
Okay.
Vanilla Bean and 36 count. And then we got our first ever shipment of linens from Needle and Flax. So I was super excited for these to arrive, and lots of them have already gone out the door, but I did hold back some to share it in the FlossTube video. So here we go. So we'll start.
I'm laughing because maybe those are the pieces that you need to hold back for moi.
Well, I can tell you that a piece or two has already gone into my stash. So.
I was going to say, I'll share.
Okay, so in no particular order. Dirty Teacup. So this one has got some really nice modeling in it. And we were talking about it in the shop the other day, and Kathleen said that this would be a really good substitution if, like, the Tabby Cat Creme Brulee is a little bit too much of a contrast, that this still gives you a nice sploochy background without being too sharp on those colors.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Dirty Teacup.
It also kind of reminds me of Legacy, Picture This Plus, kind of the color value. A little bit. I mean, that's what I can see through the video. I might be totally wrong.
So it's a great color.
Yeah.
And then this is, the word spells out fragile, but the instructions are that it's fragile. And so it's kind of a brown gray neutral hand dyed linen. That's 36 count. And then we also have it on 40 count. And the 40 count took the dye a little bit differently.
Always. Yeah. It almost looks like there's a bit of an undertone of like a grayish, purplish.
Yeah. The 40 count's got almost a little bit more green in it than the 36 count, maybe.
Right. Okay. Very nice neutral.
Yes. So while I have this 40 count in my hands, and I told you about this a couple times ago when you were in the shop, we learned something new about identifying 40 count linen. So let's see if I can hold this up so that you can see. So we know it's a Zweigart linen base because it's got the orange zigzag in the selvage. But you see how it's also got that black line right there woven into the selvage? Only 40 count linen has that. So if you were wondering what linen you happen to have in your hand and it has that little black zig or straight line in there, you know it's 40 count Newcastle.
Do you have any idea whether Zweigart has always done that, or is that a more recent?
We checked all of the fabric that we have in the shop and it all has it. Okay. So I think it's only that I was only this many days old when I learned about it. So yeah.
Wouldn't that be neat if they did color code different counts?
For everything?
Yes, for the Zweigart line anyway. Yeah.
So yeah. There's a little bit of a tidbit for your toolbox.
That is a cool idea.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Steinbeck, 36 count Steinbeck. And so this is the fabric color that probably our top selling chart from Nashville was stitched on, which was that Running with Needles Beloved.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is just a gorgeous color of hand-dyed brown linen that gives really great contrast with kind of whatever threads you want to put on it. So that just beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. And so our website for the Beloved design lists the 46 count, which is what the model was stitched on, but we do also have it in 36 and 40 count if that was more of your count, linen count preference. And you could just email us to switch that out if you want. And then also in 36 count, this is Hawthorn. And it just has some really gorgeous modeling to it. It's reading a little bit more purple mauvey on the screen than it actually is, but it just, look at those colors. This is the perfect samplery fabric. Yeah. And then in the 40 counts, this is also Hawthorne. So I'll just hold them up together so you can see. Again, so this one is the 40 count, and it looks like it took the dye a little bit darker than the 36 did, but they're still, like, look at how beautiful those are.
Yeah, those are nice.
And this color is Hemingway. It might be my favorite. Look at that.
Yes.
And so the Hemingway is in 36 and 40 count, and they're fairly similar. They look pretty similar to each other.
Yeah, I do.
So that was one thing that I did appreciate about this order of needle and flax, was we did get multiple yards of the same count and the same color, and they were consistently the same color. Sometimes with hand dyers, we'll get 5 yards of 40 count color, and each yard of linen is slightly different in color. So it's just the dye bath thing, like we were talking about. But so this is fairly consistent, which I think is great. It makes our job as a needle workshop a little bit easier, a little bit more predictable. So, and this is that Steinbeck that I was talking about for the beloved sampler. This is the 40 count version. So
Beautiful.
Yeah. So now you have to put together your list and let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a couple of ideas.
So I have a link in the description box below of in-stock hand-dyed linens. We know that hand-dyed linen is still such a moving target, and really there's no end in sight to that being the case. So I try to build this section of the website for each FlossTube video, so that if you needed something for kind of instant gratification, that would be a good place to go to know that it's in stock and you can order it. And there's at least a yard of each of those colors in stock at the moment. So yeah. Alrighty. So then what have you got planned for the next till we meet again?
Well, stitching, sewing, knitting, cooking, camping.
You won't have
Working.
your sister's getaway until after, right? It's later in June.
It is. It actually butts in with the Stitch and Stash retreat that you're going to be going to. So it actually overlaps, which is why I'm not coming to the Stitch and Stash retreat, unfortunately, but there's always next year.
Yeah.
And so that I'm going to be doing, yeah, 3rd week of June, I believe it is. So, yeah.
Wow.
And you do you want to mention anything?
Sure.
What you're doing?
Yeah, I am very excited to be leaving on Saturday for Jeanette Douglas's tour of Tuscany. So there are 40 of us that are going on this trip, and we'll leave Saturday night and spend a few days in Florence, and then the rest of the trip in Tuscany. So I am going to see all the art and drink all the wine and eat all the cheese. So I've never been there. No, I've never been to Italy before, so I'm really looking forward to it. And of course, you know, anything that Jeanette Douglas does, I'm all in for, and we'll have a great time. So
yeah. Oh, and Italy, I mean, that's one of my dream places to go to, but you know, especially Tuscany. So it will be remarkable. So you will enjoy, just suck it all in.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. So, and
now,
I'm gone for 10 days.
Historically, Jeanette has always done a chart to commemorate the trip. Is that going to be the same?
Yeah, she has an ongoing project that she's been doing that's building. So many of the people that go on her trips go on all of her trips. Okay. So she's been doing a project that is just kind of building on that. And then there is another special project just for this trip that they haven't let us see any pictures of yet. So
no, she never does.
No. So it'll be very exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any stitching that you want to show off?
I can, yes. picked up a couple days ago because I was working on something else. I picked up Miss Marianne, and I don't remember where you had seen it last, but it'll get put away for Lucy. So I haven't taken her out of my Millennium frame, but I think I might have worked on that section right there since you had seen it last. And now, where am I? I have to just, right in here is the start of the bee skep. You can see.
Oh, yeah.
It's so big. You can start seeing the outline of it. So I was working on that last evening. So that is going to be, that's going to take a while. I kid you not. Oh, and I didn't loosen that. I better loosen that. And just with camping, I've been taking some smalls. So I'll just show you one of the smalls that I'm working on. And I believe this is still available. This is called Tulip Festival. So there's the name.
Yeah.
And this is a Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread. And I think it's just adorable. So
we actually just got a shipment from Brenda yesterday, and those charts happen to have been in there. So I know that we've got some in stock.
Good. Well, I would definitely tell everyone to go pick it up because this is adorable.
Oh,
so that's
fun.
Sorry, she's kind of headless, but I just love it. And, you know, I love tulips. Being of Dutch heritage, maybe that has something to do with it, but I love this little piece and it's fun. You know, I just stitch in hand and one other piece I think you guys have that I can show, and then I'll leave the rest, is the Red R sampler. I had to think of the name. And that is Hello from Liz Matthews. And I don't think I've ever shown you this.
Oh.
I'll pull it out. And it's just a very neutral piece. There's some ghosting letters. There's four-sided stitch. There's eyelet stitch. And then cross stitch. And what got me is the Red R. So being that,
Rose.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. So I had to have it. This off. And that's where she's at.
Oh, that looks great.
It does. And I had to change my color of my, it was 3770. I'm just stitching this in DMC on a cafe au lait linen, and the 3770 really ghosted. So I changed it to 3865. So I'd even thought of changing it totally different, but I didn't want to go too far from the original. I'm a little bit of a purist. So that's some things I'm working on, and I'm working on quilting a t-shirt quilt.
Oh, yeah.
So that's coming along really well.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I should have the top totally done by the end of the week. And yeah, and then knitting.
So, I'm going to want to see that t-shirt quilt when you get it done.
Yeah, hopefully it's showable, show-worthy type of thing. I learned how to quilt years and years and years ago, and I've been sewing for most of my life. But this is a different beast, sewing together t-shirt blocks. And I have interfaced the back with a woven interfacing. And it really helps, but there's still has a mind of its own. So instead of serging it, I am sewing it together and pinning and just taking my time.
Right, because you're using running race t-shirts, which can be all kind of a combination of materials, cotton, blends, synthetic, tech gear, that kind of thing. And you're trying to pull them all together.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And I invested in 3 different rulers. So if anybody's doing something like this, I would highly suggest getting the plastic rulers. And so that made life easy, that I could lay it on top of the t-shirt and cut it without, and I could do some finagling in that way. And that worked really, really well. So
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it either.
Good. All right, so then our next plan is to do a video for the 14th of June
Mhm.
to launch the next section of the Lucy Barber Sampler.
Month 5.
Yeah, and see what else we have to show at that point. I'm
Yeah.
not getting any stitching done these days. I have a few other distractions happening. So yeah, maybe I'll have something to show by the next video.
Yeah, I didn't ask you because I knew after you finished Lucy Barber, you were really trying to figure out where you were going to go. And I know running a shop and other things, getting ready for other things, has probably been diverting your attention.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Yep, just take it as it comes.
exactly.
Yeah, good. All right, well, I hope you have a great month, and then we will see you in June.
Yes, have a wonderful trip. We will see you when you come back.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thanks for your time, Rose.
Thanks, Janice. See ya.
Okay, bye-bye.